that small stretch has been causing huge traffic. Well, we're told that
by end of year,
it
will be done.
That's such a long time.
Yeah, we can't wait. They should go and fix the underpass.
Exactly.
And make it smoother so that it will reduce the traffic on that particular stretch. Whilst we wait for the full completion of that Adringan or Shell overpass, they should fix that underpass. Great.
We're going to get into the road conversation again. We'll be going around the country to find out the situation around the country. And Erastus Asaridonko is in Kumasi. He's in Ashanti region. He's joined us already. He's on phone. Erastus, good morning.
Yes, Winston.
Happy New Year to you. I believe you're fine this morning.
Yes, Happy New Year to you. I'm good. God's grace, and the family as well.
Great. So tell us, we've been going around the country. They've been sharing with us the state of their roads. You may have heard this morning the Bole Bamboy Road through to Wa Tumi Road in a deplorable state. What is the state of roads in the Ashanti region? And particularly within Kumasi.
Well, listen, if I talk about the Ashanti region in itself, we have quite a backlog of roads, untarred roads, never tarred roads to be done. And so if I have to take you down memory lane to talk about roads in the Ashanti region that have been untarred, we will not finish today. But I will concentrate on major roads that people expect, that at least within the frame of works, if government could fix those roads, that is the anticipation. And one of the major ones we are talking about is the Santase Obuasi stretch. In fact, from Santase to Anyankwanta, it's a dualization project, and it started under the previous administration. In fact, they've been able to grade the sides of the road. So they've ejected the squatters. They've done the grading of the sides of the road, both sides. And so from Santase Bofudu all the way to Anyankwanta, you could see that the area has been graded properly. In some areas, the bridges have been done, and it was to be continued in that stretch to be tarred. Then it has been abandoned totally. And so if you look at the dust pollution on that stretch, it's huge. And that is what people are talking about, that they will want government to fix. One other major one is the Kwai roundabout to Santase. Is also a dual carriage road. Both sides have been graded into dusty paths, but then it's yet to be completed. And that is also one thing that you hear people talk about greatly, that they want the government to focus on. The other one is the Siwa junction to Siwa Hospital, the new hospital. In fact, that was the reason that the previous administration gave for not opening up that facility, which is almost about 90% complete, for it to be operationalized. That road, they've graded it. It's now a dusty spectacle. The residents along that stretch are suffering a lot, and they expect that government will do something about it, at least, if not this year, in the near future, they will do something about it to pave the way for the opening of that particular hospital.
Your call has been.
The previous administration did well to stretch the dualization from the Kumasi Brewery all the way to I think Fiyase, and then it ended. And so from there to Kontinase, was supposed to end at Kontinase. That stretch, there's quite a lot of dusty ends to that end, which people will want to be fixed. But there's good news, and when you look at this, all the roads in Kumasi that have been dualized, there's not one that stretches very far for at least 10 miles. All of them truncate into a single lane, which creates traffic. When you look at the Asukwa interchange, which ends at the fuel station leading to the Ahondo roundabout, it creates a huge traffic in Kumasi. And we have seen that they've done some excavations. Work is vigorously going on to connect that dualization to the Ahoto roundabout, which will in fact ease a lot of vehicular traffic. And so I must commend the regional minister and the mayor for taking up that challenge, and they are working vigorously on that road. We hope that it will be completed this year to give some relief to commuters on that stretch. And that's what we call, I think, the N6 in Kumasi. So, with aside these ones, the Accra Road, Konongo section leading to Kumasi, the road itself has expired. And so you could see that the bitumen has eroded in so many parts, creating huge gaps. In fact, if you travel by night on that road, it's a danger. And so I don't know the plans for that. I've heard her government speak about a very prominent route from Accra to Kumasi. If that forms part of it, that's the expectation of people in Kumasi.
So I used that Accra road you are talking about over the weekend. Before you get to that Sankari Police barrier where the Adum Chedia building is, it's also one of the problem spots. If you cross Eastern region into Ashanti region at Dadieso, you meet a lot of these problem spots on the Accra Kumasi highway. Since we are talking about Kumasi, let me take you to the Bekwai roundabout to Santasi roundabout road again. This is in the heart of the city, and construction was started a couple of years ago, and it seems abandoned. How are the people coping with the dust?
Kojo, is serious. In fact, when you go there around, especially when we seem to be getting Hamatan, and so you are having some dry spells around this time, all the houses located along that stretch have been painted, powdery dust, and it's been like that for a very long time. When you look at even the roads from the Bofodu section getting to Anyankwanta, the dusty situations on that stretch, and you see the contractor is not on site, so that you could even talk to the contractor to even sprinkle some water daily on that stretch. So you can imagine people who used to sell by the roadside have all abandoned the place because you cannot stay there.
Which contractor is working on that project?
Come again.
Which contractor was awarded that project? Do we know?
In fact, I will need to check.
Okay.
I don't have the name of the contractor immediately, but they are all not on site. All these roads you're talking about have been abandoned. It was started previously. They've done quite a lot of work, and in fact, I must say, some of the wet areas, they put boulders there, they've leveled, they've done the grading. In some areas, they've done the culverts and other things. So I understand from the mayor's point of view, recently in an interview he granted that they are looking for funds to be able to complete that. So if we could call the roads minister and let us know what are the plans for that stretch, especially the Pai roundabout to Santasi roundabout. It's something that residents are really expecting that the government would do something about.
Erastus, let's go to Intensire Infensi Mankranso Road, the Kumasi Sunyai Road. That Mankranso stretch has been bad for over 14 or so years, ever since I started using it.
In fact, it is worse now. If you knew it to be bad, then it is worse now. I used that stretch recently, and the huge gaping holes. And I always say that if you drive at night on that stretch, especially the Bichim end, Mankranso Bichim end, if you drive at night on that road, you should be extra careful. You could die anytime, because if you bump your vehicle at top speed in any of those gaping holes, the probability is that your vehicle will somersault. And it's been like that for a very, very long time.
And do we have any idea as to what is being done to fix that?
For that road, nobody has ever mentioned anything concerning that. Not in the previous administration, certainly not this one. And I wish that somebody will give a clear guidance on what the plans are for that stretch. At least, if not anything, can we make it motorable? Can we make it motorable so that commuters can at least, while they wait for better times, can use that stretch safely? And let me also mention before I go the Obuasi Road. Kojo, you know the Obuasi Road has been tarred. At least about 90% has been tarred, but it's uneven. It's not been completed totally. There are some finishing works to be done, and even markings and other things to be done. Portions of it have even started eroding already. I don't know what the plan is. I don't know who the contractor was, whether he's been paid fully or not. Can we get some guidance on when he's going to put finishing touches to that particular road, so it becomes, usable once again?
Thank you so much, Erastus. I also noticed that the traffic in a lot of areas in Kumasi has worsened. So I used the Officers Mess area to Bekwai roundabout. I was in traffic for almost 30-45 minutes.
And all this traffic could do is because many of the dualized roads, the dual carriages, end in a single lane in Kumasi.
Yeah. And the Tech Road traffic has also worsened from when I used to use it back then. Yeah.
And why did we forget this interchange, the Swami stretch?
Yeah.
In fact, work has stalled on that road. I certainly we want to find out. That is a major road which captivated minds during the election, and for now some works have been done, but it has been abandoned. Maybe we should know what the plan is for the Swami interchange and the Swami stretch, especially from the Swami roundabout getting to Swami proper. Yeah.
Right, Erastus, thank you very, very much for joining us this morning. We're very grateful to you. So that's Erastus Asaridonko, who's our correspondent in the Ashanti region, which means we can now go to the Upper West region, where Rafiq Salam has joined us. Rafiq, good morning.
Good morning, Winston.
How's it going, Rafiq?
We are fine. And then the region is looking up slowly to the new year 2026. And they are hoping and praying for better times.
Better times. I know there are some roads in the region that you've been reporting on. The Tumu Road, you've reported on, from Tamale to Wa. Tell us the state of road in the Upper West region.
I will tell you that the state of roads in the Upper West region is nothing to write home about. Let me start from Wa, heading to where my father found my mother, the Sister Enclave. It's about 142 kilometers, and it is not in the base of shape. The number of gullies, manholes that are replaced in these roads are more than 3 dozens. On a particular stretch of road, that's about 4 kilometers. And so the difficulty or the major challenge in that part of the road is between Hen, going to Nandawala, and then heading to Kuntulu. That particular stretch, at least if you are using a vehicle, you can move more than 40 kilometers per hour. So that clearly means that about 11 or 15 kilometers, you could spend over 40 minutes on that particular stretch, because those gullies that are there are very deep, and then could also even be considered during the rainy season, probably as part of dams that have been artificial dams that have been constructed, and so vehicles plying this route has difficulty moving from one end of the road to the other. But when you take from the west stretch up to about Buri, that particular road has been done well by PW Ghanem, and then up to Buse. It's only from Buse when you're heading towards Hen. And then, let me tell you that Hen is, or Chaporo is the center, is the middle of Upper West region. So when you head into the region, to that area, that enclave, that's where your major challenges or worries or frustration about roads are split in. And so the Upper West region, let me tell you, that is the only region probably in this country that is not linked to any other region with continuous bituminous surface.
What's the problem?
The problem is that when you are coming from Wa towards the south, that clearly means that you are coming to Sola.
Yeah.
I'm not that proper driver, but it's about 100 kilometers from Wa to Sola. It's 100 kilometers. And I used to do, like, say, 43 minutes from Wa to Sola. 43 minutes.
Okay.
That's 100. Sorry, they used to do like an hour from Wa to Sola. But today, as we speak now, cars, passengers, or commercial vehicles can move from Wa to Sola. The least they do is 2.5 hours.
Wow.
2.5 hours on that stretch. As stated in one of my reports, if you are going from Accra to probably Washington, D.C., it's about 11 hours. But when you are coming from Wa to Accra, at least you need about 17 hours to get to Accra. And so that is the frustration that people in the region are facing. And so the major challenge starts from Kolmasa, heading to Sola, and then you go to Wenchi. And so after Wenchi, at least somehow the road is better. But the last time I passed on that particular route from Wenchi, heading to about Bomboy, Wenchi from Tachiman to Wenchi, it's about 52 speed ramps I counted. Artificial created speed ramps on that area. And so it's really difficult to move from Wa to Accra nowadays. The people they have a lot of frustrating moments about that 196 kilometers that from Wenchi up to about Wa.
Okay.
And now another difficulty that the people are facing, hitherto, people thought that, okay, when you do the bypass from Sola heading to Demango and then to the Fofoso Junction, that will be better. But now it's now crazy, let me tell you. Because from Sola up to Junction, now because of the collapse of the Dolly Bridge, vehicles have to do a bypass from Tachiman area, passing through Kintampo to the junction, and then you come back to Demango and then come and join the Sola route. But now I'm telling you that route is in worse condition. The last time that I was there was about a couple of months ago, and I spoke to chiefs from the area who were returning from the Sola Bole Enclave, who were returning from a council meeting with the Yobongura.
Okay.
And they bumped into me around Kambampe. And they expressed their frustration. Shortly after that, President John Dramani Mahama cut a sword for the big push. And the people thought that at least that was a lifeline, that was a hope. They were hopeful that the road will be done. Yes, they cut the short, did same at Goli in the Upper West region. But as we speak now, not a scintilla size of a blade space has been constructed in that particular area.
The contractor is not on site?
The contractor, we have seen some semblance of some equipment around Sola. We have seen an asphalt plant that was there before they cut the sword. That's the only visible sign of the contractor at that particular location coming from Sola to Wa. As for Wa and then through Hen, there's nothing. We haven't seen any sign.
Okay.
The only sign that I'm told is from Navrongo coming towards Bolga. I'm told that a contractor is around that side. I'm not quite sure where it's Maums at that particular area. Because he was already working on that particular stretch, coming to Kasana, coming through to Tumu. But as we speak now, the people are they have a lot of frustrating moments, and also increase the cost of vehicle maintenance in that particular area, and also cause a lot of exorbitant fares at the stations.
Rafiq, how about the Wa to Bogatanga stretch?
That's what I told you earlier. From the water, people thought that at least the upper west and then upper east region. We used to be one region, used to call it upper region.
Yeah.
Upper region. But after the partition in 1983, after we were separated from our brothers from the east, the road has been like that. The road has not been in the base of shape. If you are coming from Wa going through Volga, the only I think better part of the route is probably from Wa up to about Buri, but from Buri up to about Kuntulu and JPC is in well shape. But after Kuntulu, at least we have some Pascal Investment Limited was working on that particular stretch, and they have put some kind of some bitumen in the area. But after Tumu, going to Novorongo, it's not in the base of shape. You know, this was from Tumu. This was the road. That was an area that was promised by a former minister of roads, Amankwata, that they were going to give it not only bitumen surface and asphalted overlay, and he gave them 2 months. As we speak now, close to 4 years, nothing of the Tumu road, nothing has been done. And you come to even Wa, when you come to Wa, from the airport, coming to town, you I think about 900 or 1,000 meters away from the airport, there are the road there is not in the base of shape. It's undulating, a lot of potholes around that area, day in, day out. I can say hourly accidents are occurring on that particular stretch. From the airport when you are coming to town, at least I think the way you are entering town and you see this one, at least that will be your first form of sadness or mental picture about the region, because that's the route to the airport. And when you even get to the inner roads in Wa, they have developed galleys from the police station itself heading to First and Last.
Okay.
First and Last to the Senate Junction. The number of galleys that are there is causing lots of accidents in that particular area.
Okay.
And people are maimed for life. And so when you are even heading towards out of Wa, and you are heading towards the northern end, towards Burkina Faso, like through Hambele, Nandom, Kokulugu area, whatever. The only good roads that you can find on that particular stretch is around the Nandom enclave, heading to Hambele. But before that, from Nadoli heading to Laura, there are a lot of potholes and a lot of accidents are occurring on that particular stretch. And so that is the difficulty, that's the challenge that the people are having there. The roads in the Upper West region is not in the best of shape, and then the people are calling for a change.
Rafiq Salam, thank you very much for joining us this morning. But before you leave, you must give us your signature sign-off.
So should I say that I am reporting from Wa?
You know the signature sign-off.
Or whatever.
The one that got the Speaker of Parliament to invite you.
So, reporting for Joy News. Rafiq Salam, 2026. Wow.
Thank you very, very much, Rafiq Salam. Which means we can go to the northern region now.
Yeah.
Where Martina Bugri is. Martina, good morning.
Good morning, Winston.
Yes, Martina, thank you very much for joining us. So, we just finished speaking to, Rafiq Salam. He's been talking about the poor nature of the road, even the road linking Tamale to Wa. You are in the northern region, you are in Tamale. Tell us the state of roads there and the road linking Wa, for instance, and linking the Upper East region.
Okay, so from Tamale to Bolga, that stretch is one road that's terrible this time. A lot of big potholes that makes it very difficult for people who commute on that road. You must be extra careful when on that stretch. When you come to the Wa Road, which also passes through the Savannah region, from Junction to the Solar area, it's also deteriorated, even though these roads were made recently, but they are in very terrible shape. When you come to the northern region, partly they are lucky because to all the district capitals, most of them are tarred roads. But even though they are tarred roads, we have some that are not too good. There are potholes in there, which makes it very difficult and risky to drive on. Somewhere like the Tatali Road that was constructed recently, you pass through it and you still have potholes in there. Even though the road is not up to 7 years, I should say, or 6 years, we have patches that are terrible to drive on. When you come to the town itself, there are some areas that when it rains you can't pass. There are some roads that are very terrible. So to the various districts you can pass through, though some are not too good, but they are able to use them like that. But when you get to the various districts, any other road that is moving to any community is not hard. And during the rainy season, these people are cut off. Now, if you are moving from the Wapuli area to Chiriponi, normally during the rainy season, those people are cut out of the rest of the region until the rains are over, then they can go. And the Saboba Yendi Road, that is also another issue. Anytime the rains come, the bridge there floods, you can't cross to the other side. We have had situations where junior high school students could not write exams because they could not cross to the other side to write their examination. And so we have had issues of terrible routes in some parts of the northern region. Now, what we are being told now is that with the big push, we are told that the Bolga Tamale Road is part of the big push. The Yendi Saboba Road is also part of the big push. The Tolong Daboya Road is also part of the big push. And the Kanvle Link Road is also part of the big push. For the Kanvle Link Road, I know they are doing some construction work on it. On the Saboba Road, I know they are working on the bridge, which I'm told is part of the big push. But the roads themselves have not started yet. The Bolga Road, we are yet to see them start work on that one too. The Daboya one, I'm not too sure of, but I'm told that somebody said they are about working on the bridge. So largely, the northern region, they are roads, but that is to the various districts. Any other linking road to communities are very terrible. Even just close by here, Tamale South, apart from the town center, any other road during the rainy season, most of them are unable to come into town. And just last year, we did several roads from that place where people were cut off from the regional capital because the roads are terrible.
Okay. How about Tamale to Yendi?
Tamale to Yendi, they just completed that road, I think, about last year. So you are able to do probably an hour and half, depending on the vehicle you are using to Yendi.
Okay. And you say that, from the regional capital to the districts, the roads are good, but when you get to the district, to the other towns, the roads are bad, and sometimes when it rains, it's very difficult to use these roads. We thought that the District Road Improvement Program, DRIP, they have all of these machines. Haven't they been using it to smoothen the road to ensure that the vehicles are able to use the roads?
So now what they do is they just come in, open up the road, and then they are gone. Nothing on it to sustain it. So when the rains come, they wash it off. My neighborhood, for instance, last year, they came and opened up the place, and then that was it. They destroyed pipelines and all that and left. Now, when the rains came in, they washed off all the sand, and then you can't drive in, you can't drive out. It is during the raining, and during the rainy season, it's so during the dry season, it's so dusty. You can't wear a white shirt from my area into town without getting dirty before you get into town. Just because they just open it out, they don't do anything on it, and then that is all.
Well, Martina, thank you very, very much for joining us this morning. We're very grateful. We'll come back to you for details subsequently.
You're welcome with it.
Well, that's Martina Bugri, our Northern Regional Correspondent, sharing the state of the roads in the Northern region with us. Let's get to the Central region where Abigail Isel Nkrumah is. Abigail, good morning. Thank you very much for joining us.
Good morning.
Great, Abigail. So, in the Central region, we know that Kaswa to Winneba road is one that many of the people talk about. But beyond this road, what is the state of roads? What's the state of roads in the Central region?
So we know that Kaswa Winneba Road is under construction.
Yes.
And honestly, usually from Accra to say Elmina or to Cape Coast, usually takes about 3 hours. But because of the construction and now because the road has become narrow, usually before that it was a double road, so you have like cars moving on different parts of the road. But because of the construction, they tried to construct one side. So the drivers were using one side of the road, and now that they moved to the other side, they're using one side, and it has caused a lot of traffic, especially when you get to Winneba Junction. So you have cars coming out of the Winneba station, and then we have cars moving on the main road, and it causes a lot of traffic. Yesterday, I did speak to some people, and they tell me that trips that usually take about 15 to 20 minutes now takes close to an hour or more.
Yeah.
Before you complete, and it's very worrying, particularly for students who are using that road to school, UEW and also UCC, and then the other tertiary and secondary institutions in the region. Now, when we come to the various communities within the region, we have some very, very, very terrible roads, internal road networks within the communities. For instance, in my area, since I moved here, I've never seen any construction vehicle or any personnel from anywhere trying to fix the road. So when it rains, you can't, especially if you don't have a car.
Where's your area? Abigail, where's your area?
I live in Elmina, an area called Broinzima Estate.
Okay.
And since I moved here about 6 years ago, I've never seen any construction on the road. So we have a dusty road, and then when it rains, if you don't have a car, it's terrible. You can't use the road. You'd have to find a way to get to the main road to get the cars wherever you're going to. And now we have these tipper trucks using this same road. So usually, before that, it was just taxis, so we could manage. But because now we have tipper trucks also using the road, it has become worse. So when it rains, you have these like very huge potholes. And if you're walking on the road, you can't use the road like when you're walking unless you get a car. And it's not easy to get a car where I am. So it becomes terrible, especially if you have to go to work and you don't have a car. You can't use the road when it rains, and it's terrible. We've made some complaints to some, authorities here, but still nothing has been done. It was quite recently that we saw them, using water tankers to spray water on the road so that it will control the dust. But aside that, no construction has been done, and the neighborhood is really stressed about the bad route. But we know that the main road, the Winneba Kaswa Road, straight to Takrady, is right now under construction. And now the major issue is the dust and also the traffic on the road.
Yeah.
It's terrible for commuters and drivers as well.
Okay. How about the Winneba Junction to Swedro Road?
Yeah, so that is currently, before initially it was just one part that they were fixing. Now they've moved to the other part. So when you have cars coming from Swedro and you have cars coming from within Winneba, when they meet at the junction, there's a lot of traffic because now you are using just one side of the road. So you have cars coming from different directions, and there's a lot of traffic. I know that recently they had security agencies on the road to, control traffic. So the situation maybe is now under control, but still the traffic is terrible and people are complaining. Students, commuters, workers are complaining that trips that take shorter amounts of time initially now take longer hours. And some of them also say they have to take different attires, like have at least extra clothes in their bag because by the time they get to where they are going to, they're already dirty. So they have to change. And those who also sit at the roadside to sell are also complaining about the dust. You find a lot of them wearing nose masks now because of the dust due to the construction of the road.
All right, Abigail, thank you very, very much for joining us this morning. We're very grateful to you, Abigail.
You're welcome.
So that's Abigail Isel Nkrumah, our Central Regional Correspondent, telling us about the Kaswa Winneba Road. That's a major problem.
Yeah.
And I use that road because if I'm going to my hometown and I intend to drive, you can only go through that stretch.
I've given you an alternative, but you don't seem to want
Very
to
bad. It's very, very bad.
use the Bodrasi Road.
Yes, the Bodrasi through Swedro. And,
Yeah.
you can use that also. And last time I went to Swedro, I used the Kaswa through Bodrasi. It was good, driving on that stretch. That's a good road. So you could use that one. But the challenge with the Kaswa Winneba, the whole, if they're working on both sides. It's not like they're working on one side. They're working on both sides. So you get there, and the dust, sometimes you don't see anything, but then the next moment you just climb a ramp and then, it throws you off balance, and then it's something we need to work on.
Anyway, Martina mentioned the Tamale Yendi Road. You asked her about it, and
Yes.
she said it's a great road. I've used it several times. It's fantastic. I love it. It's about 90 to 100 kilometers. But I would suggest that we pay attention to regular maintenance because the surface finishing is not one I would say is very high quality surface finishing that will go beyond 4 years. Okay. In about 4 years, we'll have problems. I have used Bimbila to Yendi, for example. Bimbila to Yendi is what you would call first class. If you brought Formula 1 cars and you put them on the Bimbila to Yendi road, they will travel with no problems. It's not the same for Yendi to Tamale. So when I'm doing Bimbila to Yendi, there are certain spots, depending on the car I drive, sometimes I can even push to 180. And it's a safe 180, not a risky 180.
180.
I'm telling you. Because you get to a certain point and it's straight, the road is proper asphalt, all the drainage has been done. No, and I'm going to say this advisedly, no speed ramp, no annoying speed ramp, nothing. So you can actually take your time and go into proper cruise control on the Bimbila Yendi road. For me, at the moment in Ghana, it's my best road in Ghana now. But Yendi Tamale, the finishing is not up there compared to Bimbila Yendi.
Okay.
It's a 100-kilometer road. We've spent a lot of money to do the drainage, to do the sub. So basically, the foundation of the road was very well done. But I think the final ceiling could have been a little up there so that it will extend the lifespan of that particular road.
Okay.
It's the same thing we did with the Western Corridor, the Winchi to Solar Road, for example. We did a good job with the base, everything. But the actual finishing, you understand?
Yeah, but that one we can always go back and work on it.
We can always go back and work on it, but we hardly go back and work on them. So you do a patch here, and before you know, a road that should give you a designed lifespan of, say, 20 years, 15, 20 years. In some 10 years, it's almost deteriorated and you have to go and redo the whole thing. That is something we need to really look at. And there's something to be said about those in the forested areas. Kumasi, the BA areas. If you live along the coast, your wind action actually helps when it comes to the dust. Okay? So those on the Kaswa Road, those in Dawenya and all those things, you realize that wind speeds are around 20 to 30 kilometers sometimes. So it can blow some of the dust into further areas. But those in the forested areas, the wind speed is like 5, 7, 10 kilometers at most. So when there is dust in a local area, majority of the dust settles there. So they suffer more from respiratory and related matters. So if you're a contractor and you're working in that area, Ministry of Roads, urban roads, highways, you need to ensure that whatever they have to do to suppress dust, they do that continuously. It is not an activity they should be doing every now and again, because they live in different areas. And I have traveled aside the Wa to Tumu areas, every other part of the country I have traveled extensively over the past 3-4 years. I think I've driven on almost every road in the country, and there's a lot more that needs to be done. Big push, for example, this Winchi Wa road, we cut the sod on the 5th of November 2025 for that particular road. And when we were talking to Rafik, he says he's not seen any active work on it. And for me, I think that before you cut the sword, you'd have done your feasibility, you'd have done your financial preparation, you'd have done everything. So as soon as you cut the sword, 2-3 weeks, we see work being done. We cut the sword in November. December has passed, second week of January, and we are not seeing any active. So I think that politically, when we decide to undertake projects, we don't go and cut the sword to do Adanko Dadadre. You need to have prepared extensively for the project. So you cut the sword, it symbolizes the commencement of the project. So you must see actual work being done. We cut the sword for Wa Boga Road, like Rafik was saying, like 2 or so years ago. We said we were going to do it. I don't know whether actual sword cutting was done, but we went to promise the people. It's not been done.
Well, we kept cutting sword for the motorway until it started somewhere in 2020.
Yeah, so
that's our problem as a country.
So we need to, as a matter of showing respect for the citizenry, if you want to do a project, you should have done all the planning and be ready to actually work. So if even before you cut the sword, contractor would have mobilized earth moving machines on site. So as soon as you cut the sword, excavators are working, bulldozers are clearing, whatever is, so that people know that we are prepared and we are ready to do this. You don't cut the sword and 2 months after we are not seeing proper, active, functional mobilization. I don't think that's the way we should approach building the future of the country and putting functional infrastructure in place for people.